Okay, so now we're going to pip install Django framework or Django REST framework. I'm going to exit from here, and I'm going to add this to my settings. And we need to do 3 things. So let's start with the first one, routes. One API/URLs, so that's the big URLs. I'm just gonna replace it. All we added was this one line though, this one. And then we have to make our own urls.py inside of lines. Wow, okay. This thing is shaking. And then
We've never seen that before.
oh, okay. So this is an automatic kind of oh, I don't even want to okay. So Django REST framework gives us a whole bunch of stuff that you'll be seeing right after we finish these steps. And this is the code behind it. I'd have to dive more into the code behind it to really explain well to you what that is.
Like a router that what is Django framework?
The names seem pretty friendly.
Right.
Router.register wine view set, base name wine. Okay.
So does that mean like are you gonna go over what these mean? I mean, it looks like a router.
Not really. No, I'm not really gonna.
Okay. So this looks like
what those mean.
This looks like a router. And then register wine view set.
Yeah.
Does that have to be there?
Wine view set. Import wine view set from views. Okay. Well, it looks like we get that from here.
Okay.
In views.
We can look at this ourselves.
Let's see. So wines serializers py.
So could you please tell us what is it doing? Like,
you'll see what it does in a split second.
I think it's just easier when you're teaching us if you kind of avoid copy stuff.
Oh, well,
you know
here's the problem. I don't understand what this is. Like, I mean, it's creating route, but I don't understand the syntax of this. Like, if the likelihood that I'm going to actually have to write this and understand the syntax of it is low.
I don't think we're asking where the syntax. I think we're asking to understand what it is. Like, what are we importing? Why are we
Look, these are routes. urls.py.
Wait, we understand routes.
Okay.
Why are we importing this route?
This route, this set of routes is coming from this REST framework setup. So we're using this pip install. Where did we pip install? Here, when we pip install Django REST framework, we're importing this whole library that has its own language, basically. Like, and they wrote these functions that you're asking me about, and I think it's open source. We could go in and tease it out. But what we need to know is that because we're making routes in our urls.py, instead of writing each one ourselves, instead of writing each one ourselves, the get, and the post, and the push, and the whatever, we're letting this framework do it for us. This serializer, this paragraph explains that it's turning into JSON for us.
it's turning the information that we have from our models into a JSON for us.
Correct.
Okay.
I think I haven't done my views yet. So we have serializers, we made it here. So this is how we use this library, which is pretty friendly. We didn't have to use that many lines of code. This one is pretty obscure, but these look a little easier. So now it looks like this gives us all the CRUD functionality. So if we run our server, oops, not that one. And we go to we have this server running. Now, when we go to Wines, this Django REST framework really built out all of this. It even gives us a form through which we can, so this is what request we gave it. This is the response that it gave, that it will give. If we want to post something,
At Bobby's Grip.
we can get a response of 201, which is created, I guess, and allow, okay, so this is what it allows maybe after? Allow. And it has this JSON. And if we look at our wines now, it went all the way back to the database and back from our REST framework, which is pretty awesome. Okay.
What's a REST framework?
So what is a REST framework? Okay, what's a framework, Kyle?
A framework is it's like a library of pre-written code that makes things easier for
A library of pre-written code, I like it. Okay. And Hank, what's REST mean?
REST.
This is a hard one.
Oh,
Oh, what is REST?
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
REST.
what RESTful is or
REST.
anything. So I think that's why Ryan brought it
It's a
up.
set of conventions that people follow for HTTP talking, and that's where you have the get, post, push, delete, or get, post, put, delete. Then you have a common language that everyone can agree to talk in, and that's REST. That's how I see it.
So HTTP
Mhm.
is protocol.
HTTP is a protocol, yes.
So REST the same thing.
REST might be, I'd say it's like a way of using the protocol that a bunch of people have agreed is good.
Okay.
So we have this awesome thing here, and we can deploy it to Heroku now. And I'm gonna try and do this. So when you do this, read through carefully. Do each thing. I'm gonna do it a little quick, but in our root directory, I'm gonna make a proc file. And VS Code knows this is a Heroku file. We're gonna put this code in it.
Is the proc file specific to Heroku?
Yes, that's why it has the Heroku symbol. VS Code. And we're going to pip install gunicorn. We actually have to change the name of our project here. And we have to use Django Heroku here. I managed to deploy to Heroku without this, I think, but let's just use it. When you want to deploy something to Heroku, just put in what you're using, whether it's Django or React or whatever, and Heroku, deploy it into Google or wherever, and you get tutorials that will show you the way. So where was I? What's the last thing I did?
Second.
Okay. So I want to import Django Heroku at the top of settings. So I'm going to press Command up. Maybe not that far. And then I'm going to place this at the bottom of settings. Command down. And I'm going to create our requirements text by freezing our requirements with pip. And that made this requirements text with. What's up?
I know I use freeze before, but can you explain freeze a little bit?
Okay, so freeze looks at your virtual environment and looks at all the things that you have installed in it, and looks at the versions and writes them down in a file. This is the direct equivalent to a package.json in a node.
Yeah, if you write freeze, you'll see everything listed in your virtual environment. So it's pretty useful.
Now we're going to create our git ignore file. It's hidden because it has a period in front of it. And then inside it, we're going to put our vend directory and our cache.
You said that having a period in front of your file makes it hidden.
Yes, having a period in front of your file makes it hidden. So I can't see it with ls. And I can't see it in my little GUI thing without some options. The option in the terminal is /la. And you get to see the permissions as well as all the hidden ones. There are some hidden ones.
What's the D stand for? I know you have read, write.
Oh, look it up. I'm D. Yeah. I should know. Go to Heroku.com and create a free account. We're going to skip that part. And I'm just going to create my app. It's going to go to the dashboard because I'm logged in. I'm going to say new. Create new app. I'm going to leave this blank because I don't care what the name is. And it gave me a name of Pacific Escarpment with a number. So it has deploy.
Sorry, can I?
No.
So I use this git ignore. There's like this automatic git ignore generator. So
Okay.
like kind of a project.
Yeah, sure.
I was just wondering, does anyone actually use that?
I'm sure plenty of people use automatically generated git ignores. Usually what I do is I manually automatically generate it by Googling what the git ignore should be for the type of thing that I'm working on. But you can, you need a git ignore because there will be like some random files you do not want to put in your repository. Yeah.
If you create a repository and you make a commit, and then you make a git ignore and you add something to it, it's not going to ignore it, right? Because it's already tracked. Say I have a repository of one file, it's called my secrets, right? and I do git commit add, and then adds my secrets, and now it's part of my commit. And then after that, I make a git ignore, and I put my secrets inside of it. If I push that up to GitHub, that file, my secrets will go because Git is already keeping track of it. So if you already made a commit with that file, you have something like just Git. Just Google how to make Git stop keeping track of the file. And it's just a quick command. You say like it's like Git. I don't remember what it is. Git forget. It's not Git forget, and then that file, and it'll stop you. So you just have to be careful, right? Just adding it to the Git ignore. If you already part of the commit, adding it to the Git ignore is not enough. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. It screwed me so many times, so I just want to make sure I put it on your radar, right? You can totally know how to do it super quick, which is something I never knew, and I wanted to for you guys to know because I pushed up the guide stuff because of that. It's a panic. So that's it.
So anytime after your first commit with the git ignore, you have to do what you're saying.
Yeah. So if the file if the file is part of that commit, like if I do a commit and then I make a new file and Git isn't keeping track of it, I just add to the git ignore, right? So it's just like if you've already made a commit and told Git to keep track of the file, adding the git ignore is not enough. You have to specifically tell Git,
It's already in the
hey,
commit.
you were keeping track of this file before, you need to stop.
You would have to use some, you'd have to talk to Chris and ask him how to remove your API key from the commit, 5 commits ago. So it has instructions when you scroll down. I haven't done anything. I just created it, and it gave me this name, and it gave me instructions. You're going to have to download and install the Heroku CLI, the command line interface. I already logged in. I already CD'd, but I haven't Git init. I know this because if I say Git status, it's not a Git repository. There's no .git folder. When I say Git init, I have this empty Git repository, and Git status gives me these. And it's already smart enough. It read the Git ignore, and it doesn't see the virtual environment folder. Now we're going to add this remote. If we look at our remotes, oops, we don't have anything. But when we use this command, we're adding this remote. And we set the Heroku remote to this URL. Now when we say get remote v, we can see we have our remote.
So if I had a GitHub, that would also show up in the Git remote.
Yes, get remote v would show origin and GitHub. You could, you don't even have to use GitHub. You can set these to whatever you want. You can call it whatever you want as the remote name. You don't have to call it origin. So I want to git push Heroku master. So when I do that, it's going to take a little while, and then it's going to spit out the URL of my project, which should be Pacific Escarpment, some number, at herokuapp.com.
Can we change that?
Can we change it? I mean, maybe.
I published.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can change it if you want to say, oh, Heroku, I want my URL to be wineapi.com. Then can you change it? Yeah, you can change it.
You without the Heroku prefix? That's interesting. Okay.
And is there, so it's like a Docker file?
Docker file?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, so
I haven't used it. I need to though. Okay, so see, here's my URL. So it says deploy to Heroku at this URL. So when I go to this URL, I have this. Oh. Uh-oh. It looks like it does see this. Our app is online at this URL. However, it has this error when we try and bring up our wines. This is because we haven't migrated. When you say Heroku run, it'll run whatever you say after that on their server.
That's cool.
So you have to make migrations to do that with Heroku.
Now, I have our app and it's online. Yay! Okay. So everybody, in 2 minutes, they have pancakes downstairs. Let's go.
Question about the back end. So Heroku's taking care of the back end now, right? When you pushed it up there?
Yes, the back end and the front end are living on Heroku.
So when we created a P-SQL database locally,
They were smart enough to do that for us.
so they basically copied our database and hosted it themselves.
They didn't have the data from our database. We did not see the same data. If you look at our wines list, it is empty.
Okay. Okay, that's what I was wondering. Okay.
Yes.
So you have
So just configure the Django from the settings.
You can see data. You can do it automatically if you want to put in fake data, or yeah, it's just a new instance.
So now if you went into the shell and you added data, would it push to?
Yes, I could say. Actually, I'll show you this before we take a break. I'm going to hit more, and I'm going to say run console. Heroku run manage.py shell pulse.
That's badass.
So it's attaching to the dyno, which is spinning already, and we say
virtually remotely.
I have to click in it. That's annoying.
It's the thing we pushed up there. So it makes shell still exists because we.
And it works. Okay.
That's great.
So let's take a break. We'll be back at 10:30. And actually, you guys should just try those at that point. But I'll be here to answer any questions at 10:30.